came to my nose, they got rose.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Bahrain goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Borman and Warner, but Borman's got the inside.
A guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PSGL for some F3 racing. For the final round of the year, and it's around Bahrain. We might have already had the title all wrapped up, but these drivers still got something to prove, don't they, Alex?
They do, Josh. They do. Sorry, I was fixing my hair on stream. Hello, everyone.
It needs fixing, mate.
It needs fixing. It's quite bad today. I don't know what the issue is, but that's just made it worse. I'm gonna go with it. Whatever. I've already made myself a fool.
I'll tell
anyway.
you what. I'll tell you what. I'll join you in this. We can both have terrible hair. There you go. Part it straight down the middle.
Oh
wow! Don't I look devilish?
Don't we look like a pair?
This is the content you come here to watch here at PSGL. We'll apologise to David there for a cheeky little jump scare we gave him with the intro. Not intentional, but thank you nonetheless for joining in the stream. Nova's saying rigged. He's wearing Red Bull merch. That's what I keep saying.
It's not Red Bull merch.
It's not fair.
It's out of date.
Oh, just because it's out of date doesn't matter.
All of these sponsors on this T-shirt do not sponsor Red Bull currently.
Unacceptable, Alex. Behave yourself, please. But I can't tell. If you're new to the F3 stream, we're quite lax. We don't mind chatting to you. We don't mind watching some of this action as well. And around a circuit like Bahrain, I mean, it's known for incredible racing it's had over the years. Think back to Rosberg. I mean, it's got the greatest corner name of any circuit, with Michael Schumacher.
Yep, turn one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got the most prestigious award in the history of Formula One.
It's actually so prestigious that no other circuit in the world has been given this award. That's how prestigious this track is.
One out of the millions of tracks out there.
Yeah. Josh, what is this award?
It's for FIA.
Given by the FIA.
FIA, Health and Safety. For track awareness. There's only one nomination, and that was for junior version of Paul Ricard, and it didn't even win it.
Not even the Great Monaco has that award.
No. So it's it's
something else.
It really is. It's absolutely fantastic, and of course, the awards aren't the only fantastic thing about this circuit. You got that horrible and awkward sector one, which is my personal doom and demise. But throughout the rest of the circuit, you got so many overtaking opportunities. I mean, think back to Alonso and Hamilton back in turn 10 earlier this season. There's so many opportunities throughout this entire track where realistically anything can happen.
And usually does in Formula One, as
it does indeed.
Said once probably, well, but
probably
twice.
Yeah, more like it. More like it.
But something I will say before we jump into the session. Me and you, Josh, I'm not a massive fan of this circuit. We've both said this in the past.
Yeah, despise it.
But despise it, yes, is probably the way we'd actually describe it. But I've had some good races here in the past in real life. 2014. Lewis versus Nico, the duel in the desert of the Silver Arrows. The very much the beginning of their beginning of the end, you might say, for the Hamilton-Rosberg relationship in some ways.
I don't know. I feel like they're all right on the yacht together now, but
Yeah, it was still friendly back in the day.
Yeah, it's a little different. But, of course, we did mention the Drivers' Championship has been completely wrapped up. And
Yes.
Lillian isn't going to be racing in this split. They've decided to get moved up into F2 for the final race to see how they're going to be able to fare. Looking forward to next season. But, of course, we still do have some points up to grab for the rest of the drivers. And these points aren't completely, meaningless. It's very much rumoured that the top 5 are going to be making the jump up into F2 for next season. So,
Yeah.
There's still a little bit to gain for these drivers as well. It should be very, very interesting. And I for one, are looking forward to see what we're going to be able to put out there.
No, I am too. I still got a full grid as well. I think one thing I will say about F3 this year, it's been fantastic the amount of attendance we've had for every single race this year. Like, I think every race we've had full attendance. I want to say, like, bar maybe a few of the middle rounds towards like winter, but I think that was pretty much it. But yeah, every round we've had full out, and it's great to see all the races. Tony Roche back this weekend.
Yes.
After missing the last one, he's back here in Bahrain looking to pick up another win. The thing I will say about Bahrain, of course, unfortunately we're stuck with this version of the circuit, but it actually has 4 different versions that you can drive on.
Yeah,
It
we've ended up taking the worst one.
We've taken the worst version. So we have this version, which we've raced since we started here in Bahrain. But we also have the Outer Loop, which we raced in 2020, which, let's be honest, wasn't much better. It did give Josh, his favourite driver in the world, his first victory in Formula 1.
No, it didn't give George anything, did it?
So...
right, you're having it, Mr. Heron. You're absolutely having it.
But
Speaking...
there's 2 more. I haven't done yet.
No. Right, I'm just going to interrupt you for a very important point. Speaking about having it, PSGL's had a very busy week, hasn't it?
Of course. Yeah, that's actually quite an important announcement.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we should probably welcome along the sponsor of SRC Sim Racing Centre, Yorit Yaman Geffen's baby, along to the PSGL family. It's lovely to have them on board, and exciting prospects for the future.
Very exciting indeed. It's a very good brand to be partnered with. I'm very happy to be a part of PSGL, and also, help develop everything. This is what we want to be. This is why we're here, to watch cars go around in a circle for your entertainment and give other people exposure.
That is the worst way I think I've ever heard a person describe sim racing.
But it's fun.
I don't know, we might have to catch up with Bogdan Moldovan at the end of this session to see how fun he's finding this Bahrain circuit, because I do not loathe him having to go.
This is why I
around
don't
here.
do promotional stuff. Do you understand now? Because
Yes, I completely understand. I'm
just not
never
very
going to
good
put you on a pedestal to promote SRC again.
never do it.
No. As we see Bogdan here taking the Michael Schumacher, running up through turn 3 now before that little DRS zone, which is completely useless in my opinion. Despise it, shouldn't work, shouldn't happen. To the place where Sergio Perez made an overtake. You remember that part? Everyone remembers it because it's the first overtake and the last overtake he made of his career before dived it down into the sector 1 going downhill towards the hairpin.
The digs at Perez already. I would just like to say, Josh, as a side note,
Yes.
I can't actually see. Oh no, it's back now. It's fine.
You can't. Open your eyes, mate.
Sorry, the broadcast wasn't working. Sorry to break the immersion there, everyone.
No, it's because when you shut your eyes, you can't see out of them, Alex. So you can't see the amount Bogdan is pushing on this lap.
I was using the binoculars, but I had them ran the wrong way.
Oh, you div. Oh, it's a good job.
Brundle didn't teach me very well. That's the issue.
I don't feel like that was Brundle's job to teach you how to use binoculars, mate.
No, it's Ted Kravitz's. He has a little telescope.
I thought he had something else in his notepad. But Bogdan here is going to be looking to try and finish this lap, and so far it's looked like quite a strong lap. He's been on a good bit of form recently. I believe he's picked up a P6, P5, P4. He's going to be looking to try and increase that by a couple more positions to potentially get himself on the podium as he comes across the line with a 1:27.749 for the first lap of his qualifying session.
Good start.
But it's not good enough so far, is it?
Not just yet. Andres Lopez 27.6, and then Wilson Hall 27.698. Thomas goes 27.919.
Then Valentin as well.
Louis, is it Louis?
Louis, yes.
Louis, Valentin, and then Kai Pearson goes into the 127s. Everyone in the 127s. JST 27 as well. Sixton Linhart. Will he go 27? He does. 27.9. Got a few other drivers. 27.9 again. No one lower than a 127 right now. as Leo Lund in the Ferrari goes fourth fastest, 1:27.6. Of course, a big day for Ferrari in real life as well. They've re-signed a driver you might have heard of, Josh, Charles Leclerc, to an undisclosed amount of time on a new contract.
Is that Arthur Leclerc's big brother?
Yes, I think so.
That
Yeah, I
one.
think it
Right,
is.
yeah. I know
So I guess what Ferrari have done is they've set themselves for the next year to take more poles than wins.
You know, this relationship's not going to keep working. Chat, just tell him to stop bullying me, please. I'm very grateful for 31 of you here with us this evening. As the new SRC esports driver of Richard Sproggis comes across there in P11.
It's a very good lap.
Very busy week for SRC. Of course, they ended up getting a partnership here as well. They've got an esports team getting figured out as well. And they've ended up signing a handful of very talented drivers, and Richard's is on the younger side of that as well.
Yeah, investing in the future and bringing in a lot of good talent for SRC. It's a very good brand. Obviously, we've done stuff
Yes.
with them before as well, so we know we can vouch for them here on PSGL. As Tony Roche begins his flying, actually we watch on board with Tony Roche. Come on, we know we love an onboard lap. So we're going to head down into turn one, the Michael Schumacher corner. Famously, Michael Schumacher didn't get past Fernando Alonso here in 2006 in Bahrain, but Felipe Massa did spin on that corner in 2006. I remember that race greatly. Josh has turned his headset off. So into the right-hander there.
Not happy.
He's not happy at all. But Josh into the right-hander, hitting sector one, and then you want to flick it to the right, and then keep the throttle down and flick it back to the left. Ride those curbs on the right-hand side, and then heavy braking. Then again, easy lock the tyres up. But Tony Roche does have a little lock-up, but gets the power out of the corner. Now into the downhill left-hander. So tricky to snatch a front left. Sometimes you've got to do it just to slow the car down a bit and get it into a straight line. Now down a very pointless DRS zone. Not really seen most people get past anyone into this corner, into a left-hander. And you've got to be careful not to run too far on the right here. And now this curb on the right used to spin you out, but now you can ride nicely on top of it. And then brake again into the right-hander. Just missing that apex a bit, but runs it nice and wide to get a good exit. And then once again down one of the last back straights.
Should have been DRS.
Another...
That's all I'm saying.
Should be.
Should
be. I thought there was, because I thought I heard a DRS noise. And now through the final corner, we saw Alex Albon actually crash out there once in 2020 and then cross the line. Goes on to provisional pole, 27.4. It looked like a solid lap, but I didn't think it was a pole-worthy lap.
Now, how much of that do you think is down to the track progression here? Obviously, we're in the desert, a lot of sand on the track, a lot of dust. That is replicated in the game. So the track evolution's quite high, but realistically, if a space between maybe half a run, I mean, these drivers are about getting halfway through the right lap at this point in time, so about half a run's difference. Do we actually believe that's enough to gain maybe 2-3 attempts to improve that lap time, or do we think Tony Roche might have just pulled an absolute banger out the back?
Well, it's literally a tenth faster than our main pole merchant, Camille, who's currently in second place. There could have been just a tenth of gain on maybe a corner or maybe a little bit more straight line speed running. Bahrain is one of those tracks, I think, designed by our good friend Helmut Tilke, that is kind of just average in a way of like, there's no real...
That's polite. That's very polite.
Yeah, but it's like, is there like when someone turn up to Bahrain and think this is my favourite circuit on the track, because there's nothing that really stands out to you. Maybe turn one in a way, but that's only because it's a good run down to turn one, and then you can overtake into turn one with DRS. But really, there's nothing really else. Maybe the middle sector, but to be honest with you, there's a lot of braking straights. And I know that sounds stupid because it's Formula One, but Helmut Tilke really loves his long straights.
Remember, I'll never forget the one quote he said. It was, "The more break-in zones, for more overtaking," which, I mean, it's just...
Did he design Vegas?
Tell you what, that might be something for chat to go and have a look for us.
Chat,
and see
find
if
out. Did Helmut Tilke design Las Vegas? And also find out what else he's designing, because I think he's doing future circuits like the New York GP, which will be coming in 2027.
Or Madrid.
Oh no, that's confirmed, by the way.
I know.
That track looks horrendous. I've driven it on a Assetto Corsa. Goodness me, is it something else?
His son did, according to Will Gibson.
His son made Las Vegas. If that's true, I will be. Well, his son made a better racetrack than his dad did. Not by a lot, though.
Not by much at all. But Thomas Laminen here seems to be absolutely swinging this Red Bull through that sector. You saw him slide in the car. Of course, as of recent updates of the game, it feels like sliding can lose you a little bit more time than what it did previously at the start of this game's lifespan. But it's still a very effective way to get yourself through some of these very tight corners. And you'll notice as well how much he's using the track width, how much he's opening up the corners, trying to get the widest angle possible to carry as much speed through the apex of the corner as possible to try and get himself the best run out. As we're going to see him come right about cross the line, but he decides to call it into the pits.
At a slow speed as well. That was the pit lane limiter. But look at the gaps we've got. Like I know I like on broken record. I'm like Crofty, but every race 3/10 separate the top 11, 6/10 separate the top 17.
It's something else. I mean,
Andreas Lopez.
Pop it up into P2. Is that the
So
track
track's-
evolution?
Well, it's not improving that much then, which means Tony Richet's lap was on pure pace.
Yes. So he could definitely be one to watch, and he's already on an outlap. He's running a slightly different plan to some of the drivers on this grid, but it's going to be different enough because we've got the pole position merchant, the one who
Charles
always...
Leclerc. Oh, sorry, Camille.
Oh,
Sorry.
right, okay, that's unnecessary. The Ferrari, who always seems to find himself towards the front of a qualifying field, and he's got absolutely brilliant qualifying form. I mean, 3 poles on the trot and a pole last time out as well. Finally getting the win they deserved as well.
Yes.
So, Camille, are they going to be able to carry it through to this week? As their teammate pops it into pole with a 1:27.3. And I feel like we might be seeing quite a few drivers improving their lap time, as we've got Louis Valentine hopping up into P3 there as well. And Alexander Dimas taking my words and hopping himself up into P3. Anyone else hopping themselves up into P3? Come on.
Let's see. We've got a Red Bull coming around the final corner as well. I believe that'll be JST. Now, he also pulls into the pits. Let's see what Camille can do. Can he put himself near the top 2? He can put himself on provisional pole. 1:27.1 is 2/10 faster than his teammate. At right now, Josh is very excited because it's a Ferrari. Well, no, it's over already because Kai Pearson puts himself between the 2 Ferraris. That Ferrari 1-2 lasted about half a second for Josh to celebrate.
That's closer than what we've had in real life for a bit. But Tony Richet, alternate run plan, might encounter a little bit of traffic in this middle sector.
2.5 tenths though.
But we know how good Tony can be. We've seen it before. We've seen it in Suzuka as well, especially. He just has that thing where if he's on the ball for that day, he's almost unbeatable.
Well, do you remember his Monza race?
I do.
Now that was something else. That was a race to remember for Tony Richet. Miami, obviously a race to forget for Tony Richet, but I think he's moved on from that race and he's now back here in Bahrain to really find. He's got to find 2.5 tenths. Now that is not going to be an easy task, indeed. But you see, one of those things where obviously Tony's not known for exactly his qualifying standards. He's a very good qualifier. Don't get it wrong, but he's no Camille in terms of like getting it on pole 9 times out of 10. He's very good race pace though. Is he just settled with a sitting P3, getting a nice run into turn 1, avoiding a bit of carnage, and then just picking his way through the grid? It's 29 laps around here.
It's a healthy chunk of a race to say the least as well.
It is.
And if you end up focusing too much on your setup orientated towards qualifying run, you'll be struggling throughout the rest of a race. And when it gets towards that end of that second sector and start of the third sector, your tyres will be absolutely on fire if you're not careful. Especially if you're following other cars closely, your engine's going to start overheating. It adds to a whole world of problems as he ends up popping himself up into P4, and that's exactly where you would kind of expect Tony Richet to be there or thereabouts to make an opportunistic move slightly further up the grid, as we're going to see.
A few hundreds.
Yeah, it's very, very close. I mean, it always is here at F3. As we've got Nathan Richards in the chat saying, is Mr. Bowler Hat here? Dr. Fedora's in town. Mr. Bowler Hat, unfortunately, left us from last week.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
He's gone.
That also had Angry Josh in that day. You don't want him back.
No, don't want to upset
angry
Josh.
Back.
No,
he was very angry that day.
Yeah, lots of shouting at you.
Yeah, I was covered in sweat by the end of it.
Why does me shouting at you make you sweat?
I just get nervous.
Understandable. I feel like anyone.
I'm nervous now. I'm just started sweating profusely.
You should be.
Just
Wearing that Red Bull shirt.
It's all those Charles Leclerc comments, honestly.
Yeah, you're pushing it, and you know you are. As we've got only Tony Roche left out on
started.
track with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left of his session. I don't want to say it, but we've not had anyone being caught up behind another car yet, and we've not had any grid penalties. I've got to go out my way and say it's been a nice, refreshing change, but I feel like it can always happen. As Francie telling Nathan to shut up.
Oh,
Agreed.
oh poor Nathan.
Shut up, Nathan.
Whoa.
Shut up with love and respect.
With respect. Well, Tony Roche is going to be very much out of sync here if he gets another lap in.
It's going to be a tight one.
Or maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe he wants that set of soft tyres to start the race on.
Potentially. I mean, there's so much to be gained from having a fresh set of softs. Yeah, well, there's a reason people don't use your strategies and instead decide to try and use the SRC's strategies, which they can get access to as well. Over at the SRC store, we've got a lovely little affiliate link at PSGL where you can use it to get yourself a cheeky little discount.
Segways.
Cheeky,
it's like we've planned them.
It's almost as if it's written in our contractual script we've got here, and we're just reading it out. Everything's scripted at PSGL, completely, 100% confirmed.
Yeah, everything that we ever say is scripted.
It's all scripted,
including this bit right here. This is all scripted as well.
It's like WWE. It's all fake.
Yeah.
That one hurt Alex. Absolutely. Right, there we go.
What? It's fake.
Huh? What?
It's fake.
What? Oh, sorry, I've not turned the page of my scripts. My bad.
Make sure tell me Drive to Survive is scripted.
Hold on, I've just turned the page of my scripts. I kept reading my bottom part. Oops daisy. Alexander Dimas here.
Oh, you...
Andres Lopez.
You!
Oh! We love a commentator's curse.
A commentator's curse does exist. It's a real thing.
It's proven. Every engineer in the chat, I expect £5 my PayPal, otherwise I'll be spamming your driver's name down this microphone at a ridiculous pace. You'd think it's Rap God.
Oh, Valentino La Bella.
From the OP outfit as well. Now
we had one job.
They've had a bit of turmoil this week, haven't they? OP. They've had a lot of drivers going in, a lot of drivers going out.
He's got two now.
Right, Valentino, behave yourself. Calm yourself down. I'm expecting another one to pop up in a second.
Well, by the way, just to let everyone know, Tony Roche has got out for another lap. So he is out on track right now. The only driver not out on track is Milan. Oh my god.
Kyan Sixton, cheekily picking up some penalties.
So Josh is not allowed to speak.
Again. Right, there we go.
They're parked on the final corner, Josh.
Well, I don't blame them. If I could either choose to park at the last corner of Bahrain or a Sainsbury's car park, I would choose the last corner of Bahrain.
Yes. If I'd rather visit the final corner of Bahrain or a Sainsbury's car park, I think I'd go to the Sainsbury's car park.
As Camille picks up a penalty as well. You know, everyone's having a bit of fun with it, I guess.
Everyone jump on the penalty train. Come on, let's all get penalties here.
But Alexander Dimas is looking to not get penalised for track limits as he stays well within them going up the hill here. It's a very wise move, knowing that he can just slightly improve his lap time and get himself slightly further up the grid in that AlphaTauri car, which of course won't be here next year.
No, of course.
It'll be the Minardi.
Red... Yeah, the Minardi, sorry.
I'm not calling it by its name because it's such a sellout, it's a Minardi. You can find me on it.
It's one of my favourite renames of all time because now we have to listen to Crofty say it every week when the Red Bull Racing Cash Apps Bulls is overtaking the the Sauber Stake Kick Formula 1 team for 18th place.
I'm fairly confident Alexander Dimas doesn't mind what car he's in, doesn't care what it's called, as long as he's able to drive it. And it looks like he's maximised his absolute potential coming out that final corner.
There we go.
Right, all the way to the limit, and he's going to be coming across the line here with a 127.4. Keeps in P5, slight improvement, I do believe, as the Aston Martin comes through as well. Now we've got a couple of Williams here. That's going to be Tom Roberts in the Williams, Shazoo driver. As we've got the Alpine behind going a little bit wide. I believe that might be Rihards, who's diving back into the pits. We've got a Haas, a Mercedes. It's not Tima. It's Bogdan. Bogdan finishes P14. We've got another AlphaTauri. Kai Pearson can't improve. We've got a Red Bull coming across the line. JSA improves slightly. Timo Zelenkovic, where could he finish here? Pops himself up into P5. We've got the Ferraris coming now as well. It's not Leo Lund. Camille invalidated. It might all be down to Leo Lund and Tony Roche here to see if we're able to improve as Leo Lund takes the Albon line there. Gets a cheeky invalidation. Let's keep an eye on Tony Roche here. See if he's going to be able to improve to get that pole position. He's got to find 0.2 of a second here to be able to improve to snatch pole position away. And he's almost done it. Oh, 0.004 of a second between Tony Roche and Camille. That is so close for the final race of the season as well. We might have a couple of these drivers toning it down a little bit for this last race, taking it a little bit easier, but Camille and Tony Roche are not doing that at all. They're going galore for it, aren't they? They want to try and push themselves to the absolute limit. Fantastic stuff there.
Great lap from Tony Roche. Camille and Leo almost did what Ferrari do best and lose a pole position, but they managed to hold on to them by 0.004 of a second?
Yes, so close.
And of Tony Roche. 127.1 for Mr. Tony Roche, and a lap I can't see. 127.168 for Camille. Once again, the Polish Prince, should we call him? On
Yeah,
provisional
sure. Ferrari Wonder Kid also works.
Yes, Ferrari Wonder Kid. And the Swedish King in 4th place.
Yeah, grows also
And
from Ferrari, but you know, I
and
mean,
the British Queen in 3rd.
God save the Queen, otherwise known as Kai Pearson, apparently.
Yes, and the French. Do they have a king? No, they don't have a king anymore, do they?
No,
The president.
President? I'm not.
Yeah,
not
it's president.
Too sure,
I
but...
think it's the legal system. But you know what? If the French president is around, Josh, do you know what he has in his office?
No, Alex, I'm not sure. Where does the French president have in his office? Entertain me.
He has the most comfortable chair in all of gaming. It's called a GT Omega gaming chair.
I hate you. Hello. We don't necessarily need to see the game here, because we're back. We're back just for a little bit while the lobby gets reset up. But I did a quick Wikipedia search.
Yeah.
Do you know what else the French president has in his office? It's next to the GT Omega chair.
No. Don't tell me. What does he have?
Do you want to guess?
Oh, is it? What could it be? What does the French president need in his office apart from a GT Omega gaming chair?
It is, in fact, a lovely little mascot from a one and only SRC. It's the mascot Bob. Along with Bob, you can get, driver training sessions. I mean, Brendan Lee's also available to be booked. 2-time F1 champ. I mean, there's a lot there, but I feel like the video explains itself a little better than we can. Beautiful stuff there. Get yourselves a little bit quicker. Go jump across. David in the chat saying, does Bresnev's drive-through get deleted from yesterday? Gonna have to keep an eye out on the steward's decision for that one. If you're not a part of it, feel free to join the Discord, ask him a general chat to try and get a little whiff, see if anything's changed. Come join us. Come join the party, Daniel. Come join the PSGL family. We're welcoming. We're lovely.
We'll tell you everything you need to know about F1.
Apart from the bloke sitting there, he's a bit. I wouldn't mess.
Well,
with
actually,
him,
so
really.
Josh,
Yes,
I've thought long and hard because we get stuck in safety cars occasionally,
that's concerning.
And
Why are
during
you
safety
thinking long and
cars-
hard?
and during safety cars we struggle to think of topics to talk about. So I have got this.
We're not doing another segue for an ad, by the way.
No.
What is that? 300.
This is the 300 great Grand Prix facts for motorsport fans. This was published as of all facts are correct as of April 2nd, 2022. So it's slightly out of date.
So I'm still saying Max Verstappen came second in 2021. That's what I'm hearing from you.
No, it doesn't say that. I read it already. Would you like me to read you a fact?
Chat, do we want Alex to bore us?
There's one about Michael Schumacher.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, okay, you ready? You won't have heard this fact before, okay? Michael Schumacher has won 91 races from 308 entries.
Right. Did it say interesting facts on the front cover?
Just says great.
I mean, he was great.
What team did he start racing with in 1991?
Are we really going down this list?
Come on.
Right, okay.
You know this.
So, he was Ferrari, Benetton, Jordan.
No, what did he begin racing with?
Jordan.
No, he was a stand-in for Jordan. What did he begin racing with?
Do you mean what car he got his first official drive in?
Yes.
Benetton.
Correct, 1991.
What is... It's ridiculous. Give us a Red Bull fact. Nathan Ritchie wants a Red Bull fact.
A Red Bull fact.
Go on. Mark Webber. Job done. Thank you. Moving on.
Mark Webber.
Yes.
Which engine supplier has been signed on the Austrian side since 2019? It's Honda.
Oh, it's not Honda at the minute, is it? It's
What's the most powerful Formula 1 car? In terms of brake horsepower?
the one Camille's driving at the minute. Absolutely rapid in the qualifying session. It wouldn't surprise me if they're able to pop themselves up,
You bored of my facts now?
No, I'm just saying we can make them slightly more relevant to Formula 3 here.
That's true.
Go on,
Shall I look for Formula 3 facts?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Your book's useless, mate.
It's Pirelli supplied Formula 1 with 33,200 tyres in 2022.
How many of them were wet tyres and how many of them were used in a race?
That doesn't say. 0. Probably right.
I mean,
Do you know what the
Richie,
average...
Richie, you're trying to make the argument here that because Red Bull bought it off Honda, it's still Honda. It's not. Red Bull bought it, and then Honda came back and thought, I still want my name on it. Can we just put the name on it?
Josh, what's the average cost of an F1 engine?
Let me just check my bank real quick.
In dollars.
Oh, that's easy. $6.42.
Almost 10.5 million.
It's not that far off.
It's not far off.
It's only because they put a Duracell on it.
Josh, which constructor was dominant from the years 2000 to 2004?
Now, McLaren, Mercedes, but Michael Schumacher was so good he took that Ferrari to win.
Correct.
Nathan, Charles didn't win a single race last year, but Carlos Sainz did, which is almost on par with Sergio Perez, so...
Yeah, I don't have any Perez facts.
No, that's because there's none. Oh, I've got one. Who was the first driver to DNF from the Hockenheim race in 2018?
Well, it was 2019.
Sergio Perez. Yeah, well...
But Sergio Perez was correct. Yeah. And which Racing Point driver almost got a podium that afternoon? Lance Stroll.
That's why Lance Stroll is the greatest talent we've ever seen in the sport. People just can't appreciate him.
I've got a Max Verstappen fact.
Oh dear.
He was the youngest winner of a Grand Prix at 18 years and 228 days for the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix.
Yes.
A record that will never be broken.
I wouldn't say never.
Well, it's unlikely because there's an age limit of 18 years old now in Formula 1, so... If a rookie jumped into a rookie would have to be 18, jump into a modern day Formula 1 car, and then win a race in a year.
Yeah.
Well, it's not impossible, I suppose, but it's unlikely. Which French driver went the most races without a pole position with 181 entries?
When's this book from?
April 2nd, 2022.
Hulkenberg.
Which French driver?
French.
You're around the same area.
It's not Panis, because he won in Monaco.
Not Panis.
No. It's not René Arnoux, because he won title, didn't he?
No.
No.
I'll give you a hint. He's
Go on.
connected to the Bahrain International Circuit.
Literally, it's Roman Grosjean.
It is Roman Grosjean,
Roman
correct.
Grosjean.
Never took a pole position.
Skill issue, ratio. Should drive quicker. But enough of these terrible facts, right, Alex? You can put your book,
Alright.
book away, put it back on fire, leave it wherever it is. But we've got a bit of track action going, and I, for one, cannot wait to get into it. So I'll tell you what, we'll just switch the screen over, because just get us in at this point. I'm sick
I
of
don't have a
Alex's
stream.
facts. What do you mean you don't have a stream?
My eyes aren't working.
Oh, you're bloody useful, aren't you? Right, there you go. Right, sorry guys, I had to babysit Alex there for a second. Right, good luck, Richie, with your F2. Don't forget, at 8 PM, they'll be starting their live stream over at F2. So if you want to see what Lillian's able to do up there in the new division, go give them a little peek. But of course, you've got a good, 25 minutes of racing here before we end up moving up over there.
No more facts unless it's a safety car.
No, please, no safety car.
No, Mikey, no safety car.
Nah, Michael is so not fair.
So
No
not
safety car.
What was that accent? That
I
wasn't
don't know. It's
Let's not say what it is because then we don't sound bad. There we go.
I don't know. I'm trying to do a German accent. I am just very bad.
Very, very bad.
Sounds more like Belarusian trying to speak English, trying to fake a German accent, I think.
That's probably the best description of it, I would say, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I just...
Definitely something.
Right, now we got rid of Nathan Richards. Right, chat. I want to know who your prediction is for the race win. Won't be able to do a poll on the YouTube because, you know, it ends up having a few problems and then you end up seeing a pause menu. And I don't want you guys to see a pause menu, but I also want to know who you think is going to be able to take the race lead. That accent, though, thank you, MKS.
Oh, but here we go.
But here we
For
go.
the final time, this season F3, it's lights out, and away we go. And Camille is off to a brilliant start here on pole position as he races down into turn one. We've got Leo challenging Tony Richet on the inside, but Tony Richet goes down the inside and has a little tap with Camille, but he's dropping through the order, but he's still running together. Maybe a bit of damage there, as I believe Kai and Tony Richet are wheel to wheel next to each other. Kai's actually moved himself up into second place, and now Timo and Leo are battling wheel to wheel. Leo on the outside and now turns to the inside, so Leo keeps that position. But there is your running orders: Camille, Kai, Tony Richet, followed by
Valentino Labella, by the way.
Oh,
did you not just see that dive bomb?
It was ridiculous.
What on earth was that? Valentino, behave yourself.
He's going to do it, Alonso.
No. On the soft
double
compound
Alonso.
tyre. We've got a driver. A little tap there. Thankfully, ghosting is on, so we're not getting drivers pointing the wrong direction. But I'm not sure who's decided to let off a bunch of fireworks around the Bahrain International Circuit, but it's very, very smoky here.
It is very... It's foggy.
It's very, very foggy. Someone's
This
got
can
the smoke
happen
machines
sometimes.
out. They've got
This
the
can
dry
happen.
ice out, haven't they?
Oh god, no, not
Oh,
my dry
dear.
ice
But-
machines. My entrance.
I feel like we do have to point out, we do have a great compound mix here of only the hard and the soft compound tyres, which means the drivers should more than likely be trying to dive it into the mediums come up the halfway point of a race, as we're going to see Valentino getting, trying to prepare themselves for an overtake on Timo Zelenkovic, just like Alexander Dimas was able to do, as we're going to see a couple overtakes forward. I wish we had a better camera, and I wish there was less smoke on the circuit so we could actually see what's going on. Who invited the Max Verstappen fans to unleash a bunch of flares on the racetrack?
It'd be very orange if they were Verstappen fans, but it's white. It's Haas fans. They've arrived at the scene.
It's
as
the Gunther army. They want him back.
They want him back as Linhart makes another position up into 10th place. As the Haas is actually swapped positions there. Lewis is now in front of Tony Richet as he looks to chase down the hard tyre of Kai Pearson. The soft tyre of Camille is running away at the moment, currently leading by about 1.3 seconds. Interesting to think, Josh, how long these soft tyres will actually go in this race. I wonder if my good friend Josh has any interest or any facts on how long these tyres last.
I do believe they'll be looking to try and go for somewhere between 8 and 11 laps on these soft compound tyres, depending on how well they're able to nurture them and how much we're going to be put under pressure. But you can already see Camille's broke the DRS, and that, you know, we don't normally see that in a free. We don't see a driver really take a commanding lead or a pull out into the lead until after the first stint. So it's going to be very interesting for how Camille's going to be able to handle this. But Louis Valentine here in the Haas on the soft compound tyre is keeping Kai Peterson absolutely in check. Kai, of course, on a harder compounded tyre. It's looking interesting, but as we do have it pointed out in chat, Tom Roberts is cooking.
Yeah, he is 100% cooking, that's for sure.
Come on, Rosé. Do we have to do Tom like that? It's P20. He's at the back of the field on a hard compound tyre.
Gotta let him cook.
All
Let
it
that man
takes
cook.
is one safety car, and everything's flipped on its head.
He's already making a position,
Louis Valentine going around the outside there. Beautiful stuff, as we've got a little bit of a muddle in the rest of the field. As Tony Richet is looking to try and get past Kai Pearson, but Alexander Dimas is under so much pressure from Leoland behind on a hard compound tyre.
Yeah, he really is. Also, just want to let you know, Tom Roberts is now up into 19th place, so the man has already cooked one position already.
Rizzo,
So-
you keep telling Tom Roberts he's cooking, he'll be at the lead of a race by
He'll be
lap
in the-
20. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's interesting to see how much these hard tyres are actually, well, I've always said, and I'll always say this hard tyres are not for me. I have got more used to them in recent months because I've started to realise that they actually are a decent race tyre. I still don't agree with starting on them. I feel starting on them doesn't really give you the benefits that you get for putting them on later in the race. But it's going to be interesting, really, to see what these soft tyres do. Because if Lewis pushes up to the back of Camille, which he's doing right now, and just pushes as hard as he can and gets past him, is that really... Like, look at his ERS already. Almost below 10%. And we're already 3 laps into that race. What is Camille's ERS looking at? I imagine about 50%.
60% it's looking like.
Lewis is on some sort of a charger. This isn't a PSGL race anymore. This is an open lobby. He doesn't care that we're not, you know, usually we've got drivers sitting in DRS trains and waiting their turn. At the moment, Lewis has decided to change up. He's ripping up the formula, literally.
But he's got DRS. That's
Yeah,
what he was
exactly.
after. That's why he's burned all of his battery.
Oh
Just
my
get
God.
back in that ERS range. As Leo Lund here making a beautiful move to the inside. I've just noticed in the background. Slight little snatch of the tyres from Tony Richet in front, causing that little pile of smoke to shoot up in the air. But of course, it's not the only pile of smoke, because we've got these fog lights. Well, at this point, I presume they're just making a fog instead of lighting the track for these drivers.
I would assume so.
It's an
Why is
interesting
it
one,
so
isn't it?
foggy?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
I mean, I know it's
foggy
desert.
GP.
I don't know if there's a bit of dust, but it's the fog-ridden Grand Prix.
Yes. Has actually any Grand Prix ever been stopped because of fog? That's a good question.
Ooh,
Actually, you know what? There
No.
has.
has that?
There, do you remember in 2020 the when we went to not Hockenheim, the Nürburgring, and we had a practice session called off because of heavy fog, and the
Yeah,
helicopters
we've
couldn't
had
fly.
practice sessions called off.
Yeah,
But
I don't think we had a race.
We've had a race. I think we've done it under safety car. The only time I
Yeah.
can remember is Mount Fuji before all the rain started coming in, and then
Well-
delaying the start of the session for it. I think.
Someone can find that information out for us. I don't think it has happened, but something is going to happen. I think Luis Valentina could take the lead on this lap. He is 5/10 behind Camille. I don't think Camille is going to be interested in a fight. If the dude's going to get past and keep pushing like he is, like the animal he is doing this afternoon, he might just wave him on through.
Well-
and I don't think he's going to have a chance.
David F., you said there's no such thing as a Haas fan. Louis Valentine is going to be absolutely trying to change your mind here as Camille again locks up into that braking zone.
Yeah,
I
everyone
mean, at
looking
this
at it.
point, I'm starting to think it's just to get a little bit of rotation into the car, just to make sure it's able to slow it down for the apex. But you can already see Louis Valentine is all over the back of Camille, and now at this point, Louis doesn't need to push the ERS. He doesn't need to force himself into a mistake. He doesn't need to keep pushing the car
Nope.
further and further as Ivan Santamaria ends up spinning at the back of the field.
That's an
The
easy place to spin.
opposite side of Mazepin, so it's absolutely fine. It's normal to
Yeah.
spin there. If they end up going in gravel trap on the opposite side, questions might need to be asked from us, but you know,
Yes.
the amount of times I've been caught out by that corner.
Oh, it also is not their first race, so you know it's like you got to impress yourself, haven't you, on your first race,
Exactly.
and not bin it into a wall three seconds into a Grand Prix.
The goat.
But anyway, Luis Valentina still with Camille. Their actual team principal in real life saying that they expect to be the slowest car in Bahrain. in real life, but at the moment they are two of the fastest. One in fourth, one in second, pushing for the lead of the race. Are we going to see a Haas versus Ferrari battle in 2024? Josh might say so, especially when he doesn't win the title because Haas beat him to it. But let's see what happens now. So we go down the main straight.
Why are you bullying me? Why are you bullying?
I'd love to know your reaction if Haas actually beat Ferrari to a world title.
I'll cry.
Would you actually?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've waited long enough. I'm fine being beaten by Red Bull. I'm fine being beaten by Mercedes. You know what? To an extent, I'm fine being beaten by a McLaren or a Williams. Rest of them, not so much.
Nico Hulkenberg, world champion.
Oh, no. Ivan Santamaria calls it into the pits after his spin to retire from the session, and he's already left as well. Day to forget for Santamaria, but
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
one of those things. One of the things where you're 12 seconds off the back of the grid. You're not in DRS. You need a safety car to really get back into the race. Unfortunately, DRS is king in this year's game, as we've mentioned before. If you're not in DRS in the slipstream with the pack in front, you're really not going to gain much time. I did a Qatar race recently, and if you drop out of that pack in Qatar, you are not catching anyone. That's how it works.
It's so tough as well, especially when you consider the 3 DRS zones around here.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much time you can be lost. Although it doesn't necessarily give great overtaking opportunities, it helps you stay within touch of the cars in front without having to, trifle through your battery at such a horrendous rate that you're basically dying down this straight where there's no DRS. I mean, it's such an integral part for the race plan and the engineers to sort of calculate and think, right, what happens if we drop out of DRS? What are we going to do? What's the strategy? What's the plan? As Timo Zlenkovic gets very, very close to the back of Wilson Hall, it looks like he's got a bit of a better run here. So expect this Mercedes to try and make a move to the inside here. Nice and early on the straight. Makes the intention known. Wilson Hall not fighting back too much, but Timo having a little bit of a squeeze there. I feel
Very
like someone's took a Rasmussen line there, hasn't he? Giving him a little squeeze,
Yeah.
a little wheel tap. But Wilson, now under pressure from JS Day, who's going to be looking to go around the outside on hard compound tyre as well. Beautifully done from JS Day.
Lovely.
We know what we know what Jay's made of. We know he can pull out
Somewhere in the Red Bull.
as often as he wants. But as mentioned, that DRS is so vital, and now Timo won't have the DRS unless he's able to push like a bat out of hell in this Mercedes.
Yeah, well, the good thing here for Timo is he's only about a second off of the pack, unlike Santamaria, who was about 12 seconds off the pack. The fact the pack is so close together means they won't be pushed. They will all be sort of slowing each other down in a way. Big lock up there from Zlenkovic. That is the danger of that corner. It's turn 10, I believe, Josh.
Yes.
And it's so tricky to I think we've all locked up into that corner. Even professionals lock up into that corner all the time
I just don't break. You can't lock up if you don't break. I'll just go into
That's
the wall.
true. That's very true. I didn't think about that one, Josh. One step ahead, as always, mate.
One step ahead of a curve.
Something I will want to mention. I wonder why a lot of these guys, as we see a brilliant move here, is we're going to see Mr. Thomas try and get past Wilson. Wilson actually having to run a bit wide. No, I don't think there was any tap there. I think Wilson literally just lost his car and had to let it pass. Wilson's tyres appear to be struggling here on lap 7.
Yeah, MKS
Bit
already
earlier
saying
than expected.
soft tyres dying already, and I mean it does appear to be that way. They're able to keep it up at front as they're just using the DRS to tow, but Wilson Hall seems to have been absolutely swallowed up by his hard compound tyre runners, as Bogdan looks to try and get a move down the inside here as well, as Wilson's
Here he
forced to the
goes.
outside, breaks a little bit later than he might have liked, but he folds it back in beautifully just to pick up exactly underneath Bogdan's gearbox. But I don't believe he'll have the pace to really try and make another move to the inside here. He's just going to have to sit and wait, as we've got Milan Mayer there as well in the Alpine, filling in for Lilian Dubecourt, of course, in P18, giving it a proper little battle with Matthew Adler down in P17.
Yeah, that's a nice little battle down there. Obviously, even if you're not battling for points, it's lovely to see these cars go wheel to us. We see it down the inside goes Tom Roberts. Lovely move, that one, to get past Milan Mayer, and now he's up into 18th place. 2 Williams running 18th and 17th. We're going to get to see Tom Roberts and Matthew Adler have a little bit of a ding-dong battle. That's what we like to call it here in PSGL.
Potentially, I'm seeing a bit of potential there, but also as well, don't forget, if there is a chance of a safety car, we know they've not been the most common thing here in F3, but there's certainly been a couple instances where safety cars have come out and changed the course of the race entirely. Think about last week as well. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities for these safety cars to really mess up this grid and flip it on its head almost entirely. So, I wouldn't write.
These softs are struggling.
Wouldn't write them out of potential to score some points, but you do mention the softs are struggling, and that's at this point is becoming more and more evident because you can see that middle pack of soft tire runners of Dimas, Labella, Rihards, and Lindhart are slowly falling back through the field, bit by bit, and you can also see Louis Valentine and Camille getting under more and more pressure up at the front from Kai Pearson, from Tony Richet and Leo Lund. All of them are, pulling out the stocks on these hard compound tyres, really trying to push themselves to any extent possible.
If they go, the thing is, they want to go on medium tyres. That's what they want to be doing. They want to be going soft, medium. They might go soft, hard if they don't think they can make soft, medium work. The ideal, I've done soft, medium before around here. The ideal strategy would be to keep them till lap 10, maybe lap 11.
Yes.
Lap 12 would be the best thing, but at that point your tyres are at about 85%, and that is when you're risking puncture range, and a puncture could end one of these guys' strategy in about a second. So lap 10 or 11 is where these soft tyres want to be running to, but as it stands at the moment, they're doing fine, but they are going to be struggling in the next 2 laps. As I mentioned, I was watching Lewis Vantina on that lap. He was not close to the right-hand side curb. The soft tyre runners staying away from that curb on the inside, while the hard runners are loving to run over it, as proving that these tyres are getting quite worn. But yeah, as you said, the middle tyre runners doing okay. Wilson seems to have stabilised in 16th place, but he can't make any moves forward.
I mean, it's looking like a bit of a long night here for Wilson, isn't it? Stuck at the back on dying soft compound tyres. He's going to be really struggling to try and find his way back through the field. And it might be best if he decides to try and get a bit of an undercut going for a bit of track position, doing the old George Russell technique of track position being king, as J. Esteban makes a beautiful move around the outside there. But we can already see a little bit of a DC from Lindhart in that Aston Martin, ghosting in front. So, 3 cars onto the one line. Does it work? That's a real question.
Yes, apparently it works just fine. But Linhart and Linhart now behind Timo Slenkovic. Linhart also struggling with his tyres as well. Soft tyres are just struggling now in general. The hards are the superior tyre to be on. Leo Lund is just got in front of Tony Richet as well for 4th place. So Tony now up into 4th ahead of Leo Lund. Let's see how influential that move is as Tony looks to put the burners on, trying to catch up to the back of Kai Pearson.
He does just have to be careful though, doesn't he? If he ends up burning a little bit too much of that ERS, he can be in a vulnerable position when it comes to the end of a stint and the start of the next one, if he's not careful with it. As we've seen Kai Pearson as well, applying so much pressure to these 2 soft compound runners. Their soft tyres must be absolutely burning up at this point, following each other so closely, engine overheating, losing top speed. I mean, all these little contributing factors add up, and it's all just because Kai is keeping them in check, keeping them honest on their tyres, not giving them the space to breathe and relax the tyres a little bit. Ooh. As we're going to see a couple of cars end up pulling into the inside, as Dimas and I believe that was Linhards and Lindhart all diving into the pits.
Valentina take the lead.
I mean,
Valentina takes the lead.
You could see it coming for a little bit, but
it's in lap time. That is in lap pace.
It's time. It's time to call it in. You've seen the other cars dive into the pits, get a medium. You cannot let them get a window of undercut around this circuit because it can be so difficult.
It is powerful. It is powerful around Bahrain. The undercut this year has been very insane. A lot of we've spoken to. We thought the undercut's been pretty powerful, but a lot of guys have been saying the overcut's been really powerful this year. So
there's room to work on both methods.
There's room to work with both, which is great, which is what we love to see because it gives a mix of strategies. Wow, Lewis has decided to really put the hammer down and go for this in lap. Look at the pace he's pulled out on Camille there, 7/10 of a second. Is that an indication that Camille is going a bit longer?
I mean, potentially.
Because surely Camille's got to be pushing as well if he's going for the in lap because Kai is right behind him.
Unless Camille's willing to give Kai the position so they can pick up the DRS on the next lap and then burn the battery going down this straight to try and box it into the pits, just trying to get a lap advantage on the tyres compared to what Louis might be able to do. And 2 laps on the likes of Dimas, Rehards and Sixton. That might be the play.
This could be the play. Well, let's see if Lewis pulls into the pit. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. There we go. He's into the pit. Camille carries on by the looks of it. We've got a few drivers into the pits as well. Keep an eye on the cars. They're just coming around down the 3rd straight as Kai Pearson looks to take the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's not going to be as easy, but Tony Richet is also putting his nose in there, and that is not what Camille wants at all, because Tony will want to try and help his teammate out here by taking Camille's position. Camille hasn't got DRS or has not turned it on there down the back straight, and still running in second place, but also Tony is now under pressure from Leo Lund behind. A proper 2-on-2 teammate battle here, even though Tony's teammate is in the pits, and Lewis hasn't got in front of Rahards. He's lost a position. He's behind Rahards now.
But you're gonna have to.
So the undercut worked.
Oh, I lost a position to Dimas there as well.
Oh.
But Louis gonna have a little bit longer to just get those tyres in the operating window, warm them up a little bit, get them a little toasty, and then when it comes to the dying embers of this race, those tyres are gonna be so much better shape than the drivers who have had to push on their first lap in order to get this track position to make the undercut work. You know, when it gets to those dying embers of a race, that's when we'll really start to see that advantage creep in for the likes of Louis Valentine and potentially even Camille, depending on how much longer Camille's going to want to stay out on this track.
Surely Camille can't stay out much longer. Those tyres must be in a tragic state on that Ferrari. Surely must be going for mediums now. Like, if he was going to go for hards for any reason, he would have done it many laps earlier. He's got to go for the medium tyres now.
Yes, exactly. Expect to see, mind you, 72% ERS. Could hang it out here for another lap and then start deploying.
Another lap. This
Very,
is
very
danger level
bold.
now. That's his lap 12. This is the lap I was saying that obviously this is me driving and not, you know, semi-professionals driving, if not professionals. But these guys can't control the magic of a Formula 1 game, where tyres will just go off whenever they feel like it. As Mr. Leo Lund has just got past Tony Richet for what is third position. Both of them on the hard tyre, both of them going long into this race. You know what? I'm going to mention a dark horse in this race. We haven't mentioned him very much. Timo Slavenkovic, sitting in 5th place. Kind of just been watching, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's not really had to make any, you know, daring or brave moves. He's running his own race, and sometimes that's the best way you can do it here at PSGL, is focus on what you're doing, take your own race, and sort of just relax it, just ease it in a little bit. As we've got Pascal in the chat with a little wave. Thank you for joining us, Pascal. It's lovely to have you here. I'm sure Kian's going to be having a great race in the next 5 minutes when that stream gets underway for F2. It'll be interesting to sort of see how that F2 sort of is going to work out, especially with Lillian being up there as well. It could add a little bit of an interesting mix-up for the last race of the season. But Camille is having a little mix-up with the curb on the exit there. I'm not sure if you saw that Ferrari squirm just under the throttle, but that'll give Kai a brilliant opportunity to follow Camille right through his final corner as Leo gets very close to the gearbox of Kai, and this is Camille diving into the pits. They've got to at this point.
Yeah, that was the last opportunity they could do. They were struggling to slow the car down as well. And there we go. Leo Lund is going to take the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Maybe that was what they were working towards, looking to just get Leo into the lead of the Grand Prix. So Camille now has an opportunity. Medium tyres go on. He will get undercut by the rest of the grid. There's no doubt about that.
I mean,
he will have the freshest tyres.
Surely be working, you know, alongside Wilson Hall here. Might be fighting Wilson when he comes out of the pits.
It's going to be close.
Not quite.
Not quite enough.
Just in that little window there, and now Camille won't be able to pick up the DRS from the cars in front, and they'll be battling in front for maybe 1 or 2 laps until they can get back within the DRS. And then at that point, you know, they've already lost a little bit of time to these hard compound tyre runners who will be looking to stretch it all the way until they can put a fresh set of softs on, which of course, with a lighter fuel load, will last that little bit longer.
I gotta say, lap 20? Pit stop maybe?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be looking around there, lap 20, lap 19, maybe a lap 21 if they're looking to really churn through some soft compound tyres.
That would be my position. That would be my position.
What, P19? Absolutely.
It was last weekend. Way!
No, you would have already been disqualified.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had 12 seconds of penalty.
Yeah. Deserved.
It was Qatar. Come on, don't blame me.
No, I'm blaming you. These drivers can keep it on the grid. You should be able to as well.
They're meant to. They're here for a reason.
Yeah, they're in F3. They're, you know, these are some of the best drivers you'll see on this game. It's absolutely fantastic. So we get to watch them. As Andre Lopez and Thomas Laminen hopping in the pits already on lap 15.
Is that a bit of a play of worrying about the pace of the guys on the medium tyres, or do you think this was surely going to be their strat from the beginning of the race? But you've got to think
over to mediums.
Hopping it to medium tyres. Maybe the pace of the mediums is quicker than they were expected, or maybe they were looking at the pace of the soft tyres from the front runners and thinking it wasn't as fast. I don't know. It's a very interesting call. Now, the interesting thing is here, will any of the hard tyres in the top 10 react to this change? Will they go, well, maybe that's what we should go with in the end?
I mean, Alex, you've raced this game a lot more than me, and you've got ample more experience on the hard compound tyre as me. Lap 14, you know, around a circuit like Bahrain, where it's a little bit demanding due to the lateral loads and the camber of the circuit, the tyres, they're not feeling great at this point. So maybe it was maybe a bit of a split moment decision, thinking the hard tyres are costing them a bit too much time, they're not happy with them, dive it in on the mediums, get a bit of fresh rubber in. But when it comes to the end of the life on those medium tyres as well, you're going to be looking at lap 14, lap 15. They're going to feel absolutely terrible. You know, they're looking at 60%, 70% wear, where the car's going to be sliding all around the shop. You won't be able to get the traction going either. There's a lot of stuff which could potentially go wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that could go wrong, especially, you know, the worst thing that could go wrong is if a safety car gets called out, because then you've lost a pit stop for nothing. But it's not going to stop Kai Pearson or JST, who have also called it into the pits now. We have a mix of strategies inside our top 10 here, and this is going to really spice the race up. I assume they are both going onto medium tyres. JST onto mediums, followed by Kai Pearson. Is he going to get held up by Williams here?
No.
Or just, I think.
Very, very fortunate. And you'll notice as well, this leading medium tyre compound pack, led by Rehards, hasn't pulled away as much as you would necessarily expect.
Nope, and now they're going to get... The reason they had to pit there is they were trying to cover off the guys who went onto medium tyres, and one of them managed to do it. Kai got in front of Thomas, but Thomas is going to have DRS, but so does Kai. So that is good. JST falls down to 17th, but the hard tyres, top 6, still running on the hards. Matthew Adler still on the hard.
Question comes, they stay out for longer to go onto the soft compound tyre, but then they're going to have to make some serious overtakes all the way through the grid if they do decide to go on the soft compound tyre. So MKS, my answer to you is I don't think any of these guys are in a position to go on the soft compound tyre, purely because it would cost them so much time finding their way back through the field when they could potentially pit now and
You'd have 9 laps.
You know, what? 9? 9 laps? Are you alright, mate?
Well, if they pitted lap 20, like we were suggesting, they'd have 9 laps to catch the leaders.
If they pit now, they get 13 laps, and they've got a persistent tyre advantage to all the cars that are in front. They don't need to worry about looking after the tyres, as Leo and Richer are in.
That was a late call from Richer.
Zelenkovic stays out, and he's the only one to do so.
I think he's going softs. We've seen the Mercedes do it before. We've seen them do it before, but it's not worked out before.
No, we're going to get a 3 wide moment.
3 wide. And it's going to allow Dimas into 2nd place, followed by Luis Valentina, who's going to go around the outside, which will turn into the inside line for the next braking zone. They're still wheel to wheel, getting a little slipstream from Dimas in front, and it looks like Rahad is going to go around the outside of both of them, but he can't find his way past. He might take the Lewis Hamilton line through the corner, but he's moved himself up into 3rd place, which is currently net 2nd right now. There is your top 3. With that, so again, just down the inside goes Camille to get past Valentina for 5th place, and is he going to make a move around the outside like Fernando Alonso did to Lewis Hamilton back in 2023? Saying like that was 3 years ago. It was actually only last year. Feels like it was longer.
No, start of season feels like it was a mile away, but of course, just under a month now until we get the real F1 testing back, and I cannot wait.
Yes, it's our year. It's our year, as Josh will say.
Ferrari's year for the win, and Camille is going to absolutely demonstrate this on the fresh and medium compound with a cheeky dive bomb to the inside, pushing Valentino Labella all the way to the curb, but it's still not quite enough, and they're just costing both, both of them are just losing a little bit more time as Kimo goes into the pits, and I assume that'll be for mediums again.
Yeah, won't be able to make some softs. As Camille is really hustling this Ferrari through. Yeah, medium tyres for Slavenkovic, and Camille is finally up into this 5th place. Are we going to see the front 3 change positions again? So here we go, Rahad into the lead. Then we got a 3 wide battle once again as Valentina looks to make a move as well. There is a lot of cars battling for one piece of tarmac here, Josh. It doesn't usually go this way in Bahrain, but thanks to our glorious F3 cast, they are absolutely giving us a show here at the Bahrain International Circuit.
Yeah, at this point, you would expect all of them to be able to pick up an Oscar for the amount of scripting that they've done in this race for brilliant battles and such. Of course, we jest. These drivers are just, for a different
Oh, he's
level.
got it again!
Camille, you gotta stop doing that dive bomb. You gotta. One time the driver won't spot you and will just happily turn in on you. I'm calling it now. As Louis Valentine almost trying to get a little bit of a switch back on, a little cheeky there, but it wasn't really going to happen. Trying to get that car straightened up as soon as possible. But you'll notice the little slide there would have cost him a little bit more time. And we can already see Camille's already right on the back of these guys as well.
What did Camille eat for breakfast?
Some Shell VP fuel. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good stuff for you. Please don't chat. I'm advising you now.
Don't eat that.
Do not do it. Weetabix is
But if Ferrari get a 1-2 in the opening round of the Grand Prix in 2020, Josh will try it.
Oh, no.
Ferrari win the World Championship this year in 2024. Josh will do anything you want.
I'm not Steve-O. I
But
might
Camille-
do stupid things, but I'm not Steve-O.
Camille might give it another chance. He's going to have a double slipstream down the main straight. He's got 50% ERS. He might not even need it. He's got a bit of marbles on his tyres, though. That's going to struggle to slow him down as Rahaz tries to push Valentino onto the marbles, but down the inside goes Valentino. Is there going to be a gap opened up? Can Camille find a gap to get past them both? Rahaz, there's a gap on the inside, but it closes very quickly. Rahaz doesn't have DRS, but look how powerful DRS is. It's now around the outside. Camille goes. Rahaz closes the door, but the marbles stop him from going around the outside.
It just wasn't quite there. It really wasn't, was it? I mean, I agree with MKS at this point. There's some Bottas porridge, maybe a bit of Bottas coffee going in Camille at the minute. As we see Andres Lopez there with a very late move on Sixten Lindhardt, trying to get it to the inside, trying to follow similar to what Camille was doing.
Around the outside.
It won't be there, but it's a beautiful switch back.
He's
Fernando Alonso. Oh dear. Come get Andres Lopez back, please.
Honestly. Andres Lopez better than Fernando Alonso, confirmed.
I mean, we knew it all along, really.
He's in 7th. He didn't even shift up to 8th. He was just sitting in 7th down that main straight. But he's made it to 6th.
Don't need to shift up. He's doing a challenge. You got to use the gear with what position you're in. He's going for
Kai.
As Kai is going for a very bold move as well there on Sixten. Sixten gets pushed off the track, so that'll cause him to lose another position to Thomas Laminen.
He's getting so bullied right now, Sixten, but he's just got no grip left. He's had 8 laps on those medium tyres. He was one of the first to pit the undercut, and you can see that the tyres are already struggling in this Grand Prix. He's got no ARS as well. The light is flashing on the back of the car. He is under 10%, which means he's slowing down the back straights. We got moves going on for the lead as it looks. Oh, goodness me, that was a bit of a squeeze, wasn't it?
I'd
as Camille is now into
angle, I'll tell you that much.
P1, as he's ahead of Lewis, and then Rahad is now battling back for that P2. He'll battle back for the lead, I'm sure, because he won't be too pleased with that squeeze. Oh, it's getting so close between the front now. Camille looking to pick up his first back-to-back win of the season, and he will have 2 poles and 2 wins as well.
Yeah, I know. It's a remarkable feat in a red car, as we see Valentino Labella going for a very late.
Oh, yellow flag! Leo!
And it's Leo Lund getting caught up in
couldn't all be Ferrari, could it?
Incident.
Oh, God, he is the Charles Leclerc of the Ferrari world.
Oh,
but down the inside, he's already making a move back on Matthew Adler. He has not let that spin deter him.
He's not happy, is he? He's going for that.
He was straight on it.
He was taking that head, whether or not, Adler turned into that corner or not. He was putting his car there. He did not care.
Shea up to 8th. We haven't forgotten about him. He's on really fresh medium tyres. 3 laps old. He's on the charge. So is Kai Pearson.
Again, it'll just be finding out which of these drivers have been able to find themselves at a little sweet spot.
Leo's up into 17th again. The dude's on a monster charge. I wonder if, obviously we didn't know what happened to Leo, we don't know if he got touched or anything, but I wonder if he got caught on those curbs on the outside of that sector 1, because it can be really easy to spin on that corner.
Potentially.
I remember a certain Haas driver doing it in 2021. As this Haas driver is making himself up into 7th place, or is he? Because Thomas Lamina is going to try and defend it, but around the outside, there's a little bit of a gap, but not too much of it. But brilliant from Tony Richet. That's the bravery we want to see in Formula 1. It's Andreas Lopez. He's up into 3rd place. Hello? Has someone told Lopez he's intruding in a race that wasn't his for a while?
MKS at this point is encouraging the Ferrari bullying, and I'm gonna go off stream and start crying if you boys keep up this Ferrari bullying. As a Haas decides to take a Kimi Raikkonen line. Is that Louis Valentine?
No, it was Richet. Richet made the dive, and he hit his teammate. Oh God, it's 2018 all over again.
We've got bump drafting going on down into that braking zone. Guys, I know Daytona 24 Hours was last weekend, and we got a real one coming up this weekend, but you can't bump draft around Bahrain. It's not good for your F1 cars. Maybe GT3 cars you can do a little bit of cheeky drafting, but it might not be most advised here. As we've got Tony Richet now, who has fell out of that DRS range, so he's going to have to burn a little bit of DRS, but he's in a bit of
his teammate.
bit of no man's land. He's got almost a second behind him and a second in front of him.
Well, he's now back into
himself. He's got to pace himself.
Yeah, he's just back into DRS range. He's really on the charge. He's still got 8 laps to go. Don't need to do it so hard, Roche. You're in a prime position, mate. Kai Pearson, on the other hand, is looking to make another move. Another yellow flags Wilson Hall this time. Another Alfa Romeo out of the mix. As Rahards is now into the lead. 11 laps old. Medium tyres for Rahards. Really trying to show off for his new esports team. And it seems to be working out brilliantly for him as he's up into first place. Sixton Linhart, gets 3-second time penalty. Wilson retires. Double DNF for Alfa Romeo. Last time we'll call them Alfa Romeo as well, because we're going to be calling them Alfa Romeo Stake F1 team next year.
Not for next season, just next year.
Next year, yeah.
We're not calling them Alfa Romeo State Kick F1 team for season 36. Don't worry, chat. Don't worry.
Are you sure? Can we
sure.
not call them?
No.
Can we not call them Red Bull Racing Cash Out Bulls?
No, we're not calling them Minardi's Minardi until they're Minardi. Okay.
I'd rather them be called Minardi.
They are called Minardi. What do you mean?
I like Minardi.
I miss Minardi. As Andres Lopez here is, 6 lap fresh tyres for Kai Pearson right behind him. But you wouldn't really be able to tell there's much of a difference between these lot. I mean, the tyre longevity for him is 1 lap only, and normally we would see quite a big delta difference, and you can already see that delta difference coming into play through the corners. But because of the amount of DRS straights, because of the long straights here as well, because some of the drivers are moving out to get a little bit more cool air into their intake to cool down their engine, it all just slowly adds up, and it kind of neutralizes the tyre degradation between some of these guys as well, which is something Tony Richet is going to have to be careful of at the back of this little pack here, because if these guys keep fighting the way they're doing and keep following each other in the slipstream and keep swapping these positions, it could be a very long day for Tony Richet, as we've got another retirement there in the pit lane of Sixton Linhart after a penalty, as Rehards now is going to be trying to fend it around the outside here on Andres Lopez on the 4-lap fresh and medium tyres. Now that is a gap, that is a difference in tyre compounds, as we're going to see Richet also go to the inside. Also, Alexander Dimas in the background getting down the inside of Valentino Labella. Brilliant stuff from the AlphaTauri drivers. Looking forward for the rest of this race with, 6 laps remaining? Who's your pick? Who's your pick?
Who's my pick to win?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I
chat,
don't even
chat
know
let us
anymore.
know too. Chat, let us know.
Tony Richet.
Bold.
Tom Roberts is in 13th, by the way. He's having a fantastic, cracking
14th,
race.
15th. What have you just said to him?
Oh, sorry, Roberts. The commentator's curse was strong with that one. Not again.
Oh, this is why I'm going to have to shout at you at the end of the stream.
No, not again. I can't go 5
minutes without praising someone before they end up losing positions.
I've told Tony Richet's going to win now. He's going to probably bin it in another lap.
No, you've just addressed it as well. That's even worse.
Sorry, Tony.
To be quite honest with you, I might have to go Andres Lopez. We've seen him do the Fernando Alonso, and he seemed to have unlocked a little bit of a demon in himself.
So both our picks are about to start fighting each other. That's not going to end well.
No, I mean, how much can we commentary curse? I mean, fortunately, we've not mentioned anything about this swap for the lead as Rehards takes it back down the inside, parks it on the apex, causes Camille to lose a little bit more time, just trying to get Camille fighting with Lopez, but it's not quite enough, as Lopez is fighting their own fight with Tony Richet in the background there. One moves to the inside. Richet looking around the outside. Is that quite on there? It doesn't look like it. Might have to go for the Lewis Hamilton line, as you mentioned earlier. Fortunately, no penalties.
Still both going okay. Oh my God, Tony was late on the brakes. Jesus.
We've got Dude Bob 74 in chat saying if Camille takes pole and does not win, he is Charles Leclerc in disguise. Dude Bob, I am very much aware of this, and I am praying that Camille does in fact win this race. It might not be my pick, but surely Camille, I mean,
he's the pick in your heart.
What, 5 pole positions and 1 win this season?
That's almost as bad as Charles' record. How many poles does Charles actually have?
Like 19 at this point, I think.
Can someone Google that for me? I'd like to know because I think he's only
Can we
got three.
stop
I think he's only got 3 wins or.
Listen, being a Ferrari fan's hard enough without the buddy, and come on, guys. But Camille, still there, still within 3 temps, going to be 4 temps before they end up accelerating out the straight. But that'll be
Rahad's doing this?
optimum window. I'm not sure. It might be something to do with that SRC setup that you can get yourselves if you hop over to simracingcentre.com/PSGL and use PSGL for a 10% discount.
Late.
As Camille makes a very late move to the inside, but Tony Roche also gets the move done there.
Later.
Even later on the brakes on Andres Lopez. Brilliant stuff, but now I'm a bit worried because there's got 2 cars. One's gone to the inside, going for more of a defensive line there. Andres Lopez, is he able to defend it off on the inside? Or is the AlphaTauri of Kai Pearson going to be able to hang it around the outside? It looks like he's just hung it around the outside there. Brilliant stuff, but focusing back on this battle for the lead. 4 laps to go. We know how late these drivers break. We know how confident they are when it gets to these sort of latter stages of a race. We know there's so much to gain. The championship might have already been decided, but these points are critical for these drivers to try and make an argument to why they should hop up into F2 for next season. There's a lot of pressure and there's a lot to risk for some of these drivers up here.
Yep, definitely a lot to risk, a lot to gain, but that is unfortunately what Formula One is. You can't win anything unless you're willing to risk it all, and that's what Rahad is doing. 14 laps on those medium tyres, but he's not given up on the fact that he can still win this Grand Prix or even finish on the podium. You've got 2 fast drivers in Tony Roche and Kai Pearson on younger medium tyres, both looking to grab that podium, and Camille, the man who started on pole, is looking to turn another pole position into victory here in F3. So here we go. We're on to lap 26 of 29. The race is officially starting to boil, and Tony Roche is catching, but also being caught by Rahad. It's 3 wide. That's not going to end well, but surely it's going to still. How are they still going in a straight line? That is ridiculous. There was 3 wide in 1 corner, maybe a little bit of rubbing and racing. It's 4 cars battling for 1 piece of tarmac, and Camille's going to go all the way around the outside. A little bump draft there, and Camille's gone all the way around the outside of Rahad's. How are they all still facing the same direction? That was ridiculous.
That was absolutely fantastic racing as Tony Roche's ERS lights flashing, and he squeezed just a little bit there, and Kai Pearson had to take off the track there to continue this race going. That gives Thomas Laminen and, of course, Andres Lopez an opportunity, and Thomas Laminen is still trying to fight it around the outside there. Surely not. Behave yourself.
No, around the outside.
Laminen, behave yourself. How's he done that one on Dimas?
No, Leo's off again. Not again.
Leo's just retired on circuit as well.
Is that going to give a safety car? No.
No.
I think it's too late. I think it's too late in the race for a safety car. So right now, I can understand Leo's frustration though. Camille's still running in the lead of this Grand Prix, but it's all down to Tony Roche, who, you know, I don't think he's at fault for that defense on Kai. They just moved at the same time. That is not, it's not anyone's fault on that one. So, 3 laps to go. 27, 28, and 29. We're on to lap 27 now. I'd say any of your top 5 can still win this race, especially with the way these guys are going. They're going to go 3 wide again. Surely not. I think Tony thinks against it this time. But Rahad is into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. But how much longer will that last? Because there's another DRS straight down here. And Josh has called it useless in Formula 1. But in this year's game, because of the way DRS is so powerful, it's actually really useful. And round the outside goes Tony Roche. Can he make the move stick? No, he backs out of it again. Backs out of it again.
Didn't have enough of a car alongside. It was would have been a suicide move if he decided to do that. And I'm surprised we didn't see the Tony Roche dive bomb to the inside there.
I was ready for it.
I was expecting it. I was hoping for it almost. As we're going to see them just slowly falling back into line, going
His
single
light's flashing.
file. Red light still flashing. Still has to recharge a little bit of that ERS, but I feel like if anyone's going to be able to pull something out of the hat here, when all looks done and dusted between these front 2 swapping positions, it could be Tony Roche. We've seen it before. Are we going about to see it again?
Well, let's find out. We are very close to the end of this Grand Prix. We're about to head on to the penultimate lap of not only the Bahrain Grand Prix, but the F3 season here in PSGL. We have very much had a brilliant Bahrain Grand Prix, I will say. We don't tend to like Bahrain, but these guys have put on a bit of a spectacle for us. And it's definitely earning that award the FIA gave it many years ago. So Here we go. down the main straight once again. DRS will be enabled. Tony Roche looking to get involved. There's a giant screen in front of us. What is going on? It's 3 wide again, but as Camille gone around the outside of all of them, he's going to stick it around the outside, and he's up into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. But Rahards will have an option to go back up the inside. Will he find that option? Tony Roche is there on his left. There's a little bit of a tap, but it won't be enough. But it's opened the door for Camille to find a gap. Surely you got to back out now. No, he won't, as Camille keeps into the lead. Will Rahards go for the dive?
Oh,
no, he
a little
won't. There's another tap.
Still.
I think it's because Tony's ran his outside. Yeah, Tony's found a way around his outside. He's still there, but he's back. He's had to back out of it. There's no room in the inn, as they say, as he's had to wait another lap. This Kai's made a movie up into 5th. We've got one more lap of this to go.
Oh,
and right now,
word. Look at that.
This is ridiculous. That's every car in the race, bar like 3. That they're all just in the gap. Anyone can win this race if they all end up crashing into turn 1. Let's see what happens. We've got the last lap of this race. Has everyone caught top? This is an exhibit race, is it? This is an exhibition.
Yeah, it's an expedition. Wait until we tell them there's no points awarded at the end of this race.
Yeah, exactly.
Jokes, of course. All these drivers are fighting for their full positions.
Adler's into 12th.
Of the points that they would necessarily get if the championship
well, here we
still
go.
wasn't wrapped up. But heading on to the final lap here for season 35.
There's so much fog still. I can't see a thing. But on board with Rahards. He's not close enough for DRS. This is the final lap of the Grand Prix. And I think Camille's played this so perfectly that it's not going to actually cost him the lead. But it might cost Tony Roche 3rd place because it's just put Andres Lopez up into 3rd. He's ahead of Tony Roche, even on the older set of tyres. Tony will now try and get that position back. But he's got an AlphaTauri up his inside of Kai Pearson, who's now going to try and switch it to the inside to take 3rd place, as he made 2 places in 1 corner. He's still wheel to wheel with him in the middle sector. Surely they can't keep this up. There's cars off the road, as the hat is off the road as well. And Andres Lopez keeps his 3rd place. There is Tony Roche trying to go around the outside, but now he's got to defend on the inside from Thomas, who will try and take 5th place from Tony Roche on this last lap. And it's all kicked off, but not where we expected. Because Tony Roche on 12-lap-old mediums is the one that's dropped through the grid because he hasn't got any ERS left. But for your race leader, he is about a few corners away from winning this Grand Prix. And once again, converting pole to P1 in a Grand Prix race. Josh thought he'd never see the day where a Ferrari turned 2 poles into an F1 victory since Michael Schumacher did in 2004. But for today, as Andres Lopez has got Kai in the final corner, and even see Camille wins the race. Rahards is there. It's to the line. I think Andres Lopez got it on the line.
Oh my words.
What happened in that final corner? I was doing a very magical speech and they went crazy.
I mean, you cannot write these sort of results up. You can't write these sort of races up. Brilliant stuff all round from all the drivers. I mean, it basically sums up the season, doesn't it? Everything's been so close. Everything's been absolutely fantastic.
Goodness me.
Rahards with driver of the day as well. For me, it's got to go to Camille. I don't know, just holding on to that ERS. It might be Ferrari favoritism. It might be a little bit of a fanboy coming out inside of me. But just holding on to the ERS, understanding their position in the race and what they would have to do with dying embers. Did enough to secure the win, but there's been some brilliant drives here today.
There has been. I don't think I can say that one driver hasn't had a good drive in them. It was fantastic indeed.
Just fantastic.
Yeah, just fantastic. I got to say, Camille deserved the win in the end. He did everything right. The penultimate lap was the one where he won it, really. Because everyone just started tussling among themselves and using all their ERS up. But yeah, Rahards as well. What a drive from him. 18 laps he had those, or 20 laps he had those medium tyres on by the end. Did from 16th on the grid to 2nd place.
I mean, it's fantastic. Andres Lopez as well, pulling out some fantastic moves. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what a week it's been for Rahards as well. He had his birthday earlier in the week, got announced to SRC Esports, and he finds himself P2 in the final race of the season as well. I mean, looking all throughout this grid, Kai, very unfortunate. Thomas Laminen with another great drive. Tony Roche, very, very unfortunate with dying embers of this race. Alexander Dimas had some great overtakes. Matthew Adler coming from seemingly nowhere to P8, fantastic stuff. Louis Valentin was, up and about in that fight for so long. and then it just came through at the end of a race. Bogdan as well, putting in a solid performance. So many drivers on this grid. It was just absolutely fantastic being able to watch them. I'm a loss for words, to be honest. It's been a fantastic race to end the season on.
It has been absolutely fantastic. But Josh, even though we've called the end of the season,
Yes.
there's one thing we need to do before the end of the season, because all year round we've done this one thing where I'll say something or you'll say something, and
Yes.
it'll lead on to an ad
Yeah.
for whatever. And I don't think we need to do that anymore. I think our fans and the audience here of PSGL already know what they want. They already want a GT Omega gaming chair.
You guys, one more.
One
One more.
for the road.
This was going to have to stay over until the start of next season, but of course, thank you for being able to put forward the amazing championship here at F3, with of course the sponsors directly below me of GT Omega and Sim Racing Centre. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. So, for one last time, the best chair in the business. It's getting me emotional. The last GT Omega ad.
I just cried the whole way through it.
It's okay. Right, well, it's not quite the end of the stream. We've got the interviews to go through, and I do believe we've got a very special someone who has had a very busy week, who's willing to give us an ounce of his time. I believe that'll be the one and only Rehards. First and foremost, hopefully you've had a brilliant birthday. Hopefully you've had a brilliant birthday. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourself this week as well, Rehards. I mean, what a way to end the season as well.
Sorry, my Discord is lagging a bit. Could you repeat?
No worries. Firstly, happy birthday from earlier in the week.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
No worries. And you've had such a busy week, mate. How does this sum it up for you?
The race was just incredible. Like, I decided to not practice, so maybe it's my new meta, like not to practice and just start last and undercut and work together. But yeah, this race was just incredible. Didn't really thought I would get even top 5 or even top 10 because Bahrain is really hard track for me, and I'm struggling always on this track, and saying what I did today was just incredible. I still don't believe it because the season I had was just really terrible. Because I was just having some not fun times, but this race was fully going my way, and really happy to end season with P2 and yeah, GG's.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant stuff throughout the race. I mean, at any point was you, somewhat maybe doubting strategy or maybe had second guesses, or was you firm on going for that undercut and just working together to get back through the grid?
I was really questioning it on my first stint because I wasn't really that far up, but I was like B8 or 7, something like that, and then I like worked together with I think what was it, Dimas, I think.
Yes.
And yeah, we had really good undercut. I think some people like really fight hard, and it was just incredible for me. Really good for me. So I was just trying to stick P2, P3 at the worst scenario, and yeah. The drop off wasn't that bad. I thought it will be like crazy bad and I will be dropping far below, but everything was fine. I was really surprised that others were not that fast, to be honest. But yeah, had to at the last laps had to fight really hard, but everything went as I said my way, and last lap was just chilling because I saw P3, P4, P5, and everyone were fighting really hard,
Yes.
and I just had to chill a bit and yeah, don't do any mistakes because I think on my lap 8 or 9 I had my second warning, so I just had to don't I had to not make mistakes and be consistent, which I did, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant race, mate. Alex, do you have any questions for Rehards?
Yeah, I was just going to say that obviously you mentioned that last lap was the chillest of laps, but laps 28. Let's talk about that lap because pretty much everyone decided that 28 was the last lap of the Grand Prix for some reason and not 29. So I also at one point I think you, Camille, and Tony went 3 wide into turn 1,
Yep.
and all of you came out still facing the right direction. So and you were in the middle of that as well. So I don't know exactly what that was like from your perspective, but like it looked like some cracking racing at the front this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Tony knew that he can't win the race from P3, so he had to go for it. As I had older tires as well, so he knew he could get me. But the defenseman, me and Camille did was just incredible. I still don't know how I defend that because Tony Rishi is really fast driver, and really proud that I still managed to get P2 after that fight. And I had a little inside thing I could win, but then just Camille had I think some more battery and he just did what he did, and he had a bit fresher tires than me as I finished
Yeah.
as I finished my race with like 72 or 73% at my
Oof.
rear left, so it was just on the limit, which is just phenomenal. And big thanks to my engineers, and really proud of them as well because the teamwork was just next level. Really nice.
Lovely stuff. And of course, last round of the season. Moving on to next year. Next season. Season 36. Big one. Are you thinking about potentially getting a call up to F2? Staying in F3?
I would love to be in F4, F2, but you know, I had a big of a stinker mid-season. I started the season fine. I had like a win in Japan and P2 in Las Vegas. Then had some really terrible luck, and yeah, the mid-season was just really bad for me. But I tried to not give up, and thanks God, Bahrain was good, and this gave me a lot of confidence, and I think that this is just the beginning.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say so.
You've got yourself on a wonderful journey with your new team, so it'll be interesting to sort of see what you're going to be able to craft up in coming weeks, coming months. See how well it's gonna work out for you, Rehard. So I'm gonna wish you all the best, and thank you again for being part of a fantastic and incredible, entertaining season.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Much love.
Thank you. Oh,
You said
what
much love.
much
What a
love.
legend.
I'm gonna start crying again. Oh God. Well,
Oh,
Josh,
yes, Alex.
season 35.
You know, it's normally at this point I end up pressing this calendar button, and we start thinking about what the next race is going to be, but
we don't have one.
it's not there. There's no round 12. It's just 11.
That's it. This is the last round.
This is it. This is the end. Close your eyes and count to 10.
Yeah. It's whatever that song is.
Cause
That was-
it's Skyfall!
I thought it was that one, but I couldn't
It
remember
is
what the next
absolutely
lyric
that
was.
one. Oh, okay. Right, for some
Oh
reason.
God.
I didn't want to show the screen. But of course, do have to say a massive thank you to you, of course, Alex, for joining me and putting up with all my debauchery. Despite me probably getting the majority of abuse throughout the week.
Well, yeah, I'd also like to thank you, Josh, for taking all of my punishment that I put against you against Ferrari, Charles Leclerc,
I wouldn't call it
Michael
punishment,
Schumacher. Anyone else I offend? Who else do I offend? Lance
Nathan,
Stroll.
Richie, Lance Stroll.
I like Nathan. Lance Stroll. Brundle.
Yeah.
Ted Kravitz.
Yeah.
I think this has just proven that we're never going to work with actual F1 because we've already annoyed enough people from that actual thing. They don't know who we are. Come on. Brundle doesn't watch this every weekend.
No. Then,
It's not even the weekend. It's a Thursday.
Exactly. And of course, PSGL wouldn't be PSGL without you lovely viewers who tune in, week
You
week
make
out.
it happen.
You guys are the reason why we end up getting the opportunities with GTM Maker, with Sim Racing Centre, to be able to come and broadcast week in, week out for some entertaining races. But this isn't the end of the week for me. We do have E-Series qualifiers happening on Friday, and of course I'll be joined by Nathan Richards for that one. Mr. Heron, I believe you've got a little social race over with the new partner.
I have a few social races.
Yeah, you got two social races.
I've got 2 social races.
Where you can see a beautiful mix between esports content creators and community drivers in that one, and then we'll have the big hitting teams in E-Series trying to qualify and battle it out for the last couple of positions on the Friday. But without further ado, it's time.
Don't do it, Josh.
It's time.
Don't do it.
We gotta say goodbye.
Gotta say goodbye. But the question is, will we be back? That's the question.
I mean, you won't be.
No, I'm gone. I've been fired.
I'm firing you. Job done.
Right now. That's it.
Out, gone. Boom.
And on that bombshell.
It's not time for my name and change name. But we'll be back next season. Regardless of where we are, we'll still be together here at PSGL. And hopefully you'll be able to spot us out next time. And might be some new faces on the grid as well, which could be very interesting. But until then, thank you very much, guys. And we'll catch you around next time. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL. It's Wednesday night. It's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside. Oh, here he's through on the left-hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.